pressed his 4 hands against the control panel, and watched the red lights blink faster. Each blink meant another system was failing on their ship, the distant shore. The quantum drives that pushed them through space were dying. The air recycling systems worked at less than a quarter of normal power. Even the lights in the hallways were getting dim. "Chief Engineer," called Captain Ara from across the bridge. Her crystal-like skin was pale with worry. "How much time do we have?" Looked at the numbers on his screen. They were not good. "Maybe 3 days before life support fails completely. The quantum drives are already dead. We are just floating now." The bridge went quiet. 847 lives depended on what happened next. Their tall, thin bodies needed specific air mixtures to breathe. Their 4-armed forms required particular temperatures to survive. Without the ship systems, they would all die in the cold emptiness of space. "Options?" Captain Ora asked. Science Officer N spoke first. "We have emergency supplies, but only enough for maybe 1 day extra. Our repair materials ran out after the last asteroid field damage." Navigation Officer raised 2 of his arms. "Captain, we are in a star system. The 3rd planet from the star shows signs of industrial activity." Ara's crystalline face darkened. "The primitive species, what do our databases say about them?" And touched her control screen. Data flowed across the main display. "Species designation, human, technology level, early space age. They have achieved basic orbital flight but nothing advanced. No quantum technology, no faster-than-light travel, no energy weapons." "Population?" Ora asked. "Approximately 8 billion on the main planet. They have some small stations around their planet and 1 larger facility on their moon." Felt his stomach twist. First contact with a primitive species was dangerous. The Galactic Council had strict rules. Advanced species should not interfere with developing ones. But what choice did they have? "Captain," he said slowly, "their technology might be primitive, but they might have basic materials we need. Metal alloys, simple electronics, maybe even some rare elements." Ara stood up from her command chair. Her tall form cast long shadows in the dim bridge lighting. "The plan would be simple. We land, request materials for basic repairs, and leave before they can organize any response. Their weapons cannot hurt us, and our shields can protect us from anything they might try." "What if they refuse to help?" asked. "Then we take what we need," Ara said firmly. "I will not let my crew die because of primitive stubbornness." Began plotting a course to the 3rd planet. The ship moved slowly without its main drives, using only small maneuvering thrusters. It would take 6 hours to reach the planet. As they got closer, noticed something strange. His sensors detected more activity than expected. The humans had many more satellites than their databases showed. Some of the objects in orbit around the planet were quite large. "Captain," he called out, "I am reading unusual activity. The humans have significantly more orbital infrastructure than our data suggested." "How much more?" Ara asked. "At least 3 times what our databases show. And some of these structures are quite sophisticated for their technology level." En frowned at her console. "Our information is only 50 cycles old. Perhaps they advance faster than we thought." Suddenly, navigation board lit up with incoming signals. "Captain, we are being hailed. Multiple sources." "Multiple?" Ara looked surprised. "Put it on speakers." 3 different voices began speaking at the same time. The universal translator worked to make sense of the alien language called English. "Unknown vessel, this is Terra Defense Station Alpha 7. Please identify yourself and state your intentions." "Unregistered ship, this is Luna Base Command. You are entering Earth space. Respond immediately." "Alien craft, this is Admiral commanding the Sol Defense Network. Welcome to our system. Do you require assistance?" Ara's eyes went wide. The primitive humans had detected them instantly and responded with organized military precision. Worse, they had multiple defensive installations. "How did they detect us so quickly?" she whispered. Checked his sensors again. "Captain, our stealth systems are working normally. They should not have been able to see us until we got much closer." "Answer them," Ara ordered. "Tell them we are explorers in need of assistance." Opened communications. "Human vessels, this is Captain Ara of the exploration ship Distant Shore. We have suffered mechanical failures and request permission to approach your planet for repairs." The response came immediately from Admiral. Permission granted, Captain Aura. We are dispatching escort vessels to guide you to a safe landing area. Medical and engineering teams are standing by. Before anyone could respond, sensors detected new contacts. Captain, multiple small craft approaching, moving very fast. On the main screen, sleek human fighters appeared. They were much smaller than the distant shore, but moved with incredible speed and precision. The ships formed a perfect escort formation around the alien vessel. Those ships, En said quietly, they are moving faster than our data suggests human technology should allow. How much faster? Aura demanded. Twice as fast as we thought possible for their development level. Admiral's voice came through the speakers again. Captain Aura, our escort will guide you to Repair Bay 7 at Terra Station. Our engineers are already preparing to assist you. Is your crew injured? Do you need medical attention? Aura looked around her bridge. The red warning lights continued blinking. Her crew was exhausted and scared. Whatever was happening, they needed help. We are grateful for your assistance, Admiral. Some of our crew need medical attention, and our life support systems are failing. Understood, Captain. You will have full support. Welcome to Earth. As the human escort guided them toward the planet, wondered what kind of primitive species could detect advanced alien ships so easily and respond so quickly. The humans were being helpful, but something felt different than expected. The distant shore followed the human fighters toward the blue and green planet below, moving toward what they hoped would be simple repairs and a quick departure. They had no idea how wrong they were about everything. Admiral Sarah stood in the command center of Terra Defense Station Alpha 7 and watched the alien ship approach Earth. After 40 years of military service, she had seen many things, but this was different. This was the moment humanity had prepared for since they first looked at the stars. Status report, she called out to her crew. Lieutenant answered first. The alien vessel is following our escort ships perfectly. No hostile actions detected. Their weapons systems appear to be offline. Medical teams asked. Dr. Foster's xenobiology team is ready. Doctor has the translation systems running. All first contact protocols are active. Nodded, Earth had been preparing for this day for decades, not with weapons and war plans, but with welcome procedures and help protocols. The alien ship was clearly in distress, and humans would do what humans did best, help those who needed it. Patch me through to the ship again, ordered. Captain Aura, this is Admiral. Our scans show your ship has significant damage. We are prepared to offer full repair services and any medical aid your crew needs. The alien captain's voice came back through the translator. Admiral, we appreciate your offer, but we only need basic materials, simple metals and electronics. We do not wish to impose on your people. Smiled, the alien was being polite, probably thinking humans were too primitive to really help. She had read the intelligence reports. Most species in the galaxy treated younger civilizations badly. They expected the same treatment. Captain Aura, it is no imposition. Helping those in need is something we take seriously. You will find Earth's hospitality quite generous. 20 minutes later, the alien ship landed in Repair Bay 7. Took a transport down to the surface to meet their visitors personally. She wanted the aliens to understand that Earth's leaders cared about their welfare. The alien ship was impressive. 300 meters long with smooth curves and crystalline panels that seemed to glow from within. But's experienced eye caught the damage immediately. Burn marks along the hull, several hull breaches sealed with emergency patches, and the quantum drive assembly was clearly not working. The airlock opened and 3 aliens stepped out. They were tall and thin with 4 arms each and skin that looked like polished crystal, beautiful in their own way. The one in front spoke. I am Captain Aura. This is Science Officer N and Chief Engineer. Welcome to Earth, said with a genuine smile. I am Admiral Sarah. These are Dr. James, our communications specialist, and Chief Engineer Martinez. Doctor stepped forward with a tablet in his hands. Captain, if you don't mind, I would like to improve our translation systems. Could you speak a few sentences in your native language? Aura looked surprised, but spoke several sentences in a musical language full of complex tones. His tablet lit up with analysis patterns. Fascinating, said after a few minutes. Your language uses quantum harmonic patterns in addition to standard audio. No wonder our first translations were rough. Give me an hour and I can have perfect translation running. Watch the aliens' faces. They looked shocked that a human could analyze their language so quickly. Most species took days or weeks to establish good communication. Chief Engineer Martinez had been scanning the alien ship with his equipment. Captain Aura, I've had a look at your damage. We can definitely fix this, but I have some suggestions for improvements. The alien engineer raised two of his forearms. Improvements your species has barely achieved. Martinez grinned. That's what everyone thinks. Captain, would you mind if we took a look at your quantum drive system? I have some ideas that might interest you. Your species does not have quantum technology, En said firmly. Actually, we do, Martinez replied. We've had it for about 30 years, we just don't advertise it much. The aliens looked at each other with confusion, decided it was time to show them what Earth could really do. Dr. Foster, she called to the medical officer, our guests look tired. Would you mind offering them some refreshment? Dr. Amy Foster stepped forward with a friendly smile and a small cup. This is coffee. It's a mild stimulant we drink regularly. It might help you feel better after your long journey. Aura took the cup carefully and sniffed it. The smell seemed to surprise her. She took a small sip, then her eyes went wide. This is remarkable, she said. I feel more alert already. What did you call it? Coffee, Foster said. We usually drink several cups per day. It helps us think more clearly. Watched as each alien tried the coffee. Their reactions were immediate and strong. Their crystalline skin seemed to brighten and they stood. Several cups per day, asked. How do you sleep? We've adapted, Foster explained. Most humans can drink coffee all day and still sleep normally. Our bodies process stimulants very efficiently. Martinez had continued his scans. Captain Aura, I hate to interrupt, but you really need to see our repair proposals. We can fix your current systems, but we can also upgrade your quantum efficiency by about 40%. That is impossible, said Flatley. Our quantum drives are among the most advanced in the galaxy. I'm sure they are, Martinez said politely. But we've made some improvements to quantum field harmonics that might interest you. Would you like to see our engineering facilities? Watch the alien captain struggle with what she was hearing. Primitive humans weren't supposed to understand quantum drives, let alone improve them. Admiral, Aura said slowly, your people seem more advanced than our databases suggested. Intelligence is often incomplete, replied carefully. We've found that many species underestimate each other. Why don't you let us help repair your ship? Then you can judge our capabilities for yourself. Looked up from his tablet. Translation upgrade is complete. Perfect communication should be working now. The improvement was immediately obvious. The alien's words came through with much more nuance and emotion than before. This is extraordinary, En said, her scientific curiosity clearly aroused. How did you achieve such rapid language analysis? Quantum pattern recognition, explained. We map the harmonic structures and cross-reference them with linguistic probability matrices. The alien stared at him. Finally, Aura spoke. You have quantum computers sophisticated enough for real-time linguistic analysis. Of course, said, seeming confused by the question. How else would you do first contact protocols? Smiled as she watched understanding dawn on the alien faces. Earth wasn't quite what they had expected. Captain Aura, she said gently, why don't we show you our repair facilities? I think you'll find them adequate for your needs. As they walked toward the engineering bays, noticed the aliens were still drinking their coffee and looking around with increasing amazement. They were beginning to realize that their simple repair stop was going to be much more interesting than planned. Behind them, Earth's welcome protocols continued smoothly. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for a very long time. Science Officer N finished her third cup of the human beverage called coffee and felt her mind working faster than it had in cycles. Mathematical equations that had puzzled her for days suddenly became clear. The colors around her seemed brighter and more vivid. Every detail of the human engineering facility seemed sharp and important. This coffee, she said to Dr. Foster, it is quite remarkable. How often do humans consume this substance? Dr. Foster smiled. Most of us drink it every morning. Many people have 4 or 5 cups during the day. Some drink it constantly. N tried to imagine functioning with this level of mental enhancement all the time. No wonder humans had developed so quickly. Are there any negative effects from regular consumption? She asked. Some people get a little jittery if they drink too much too fast, Foster explained. And you might have trouble sleeping if you drink it too late in the day, but mostly we just consider it normal. Normal? En realized that what felt like a powerful enhancement to her was just ordinary daily life for humans. She watched the human engineers working on their ship and began to understand why they moved with such confidence and speed. Chief Engineer Martinez was explaining the quantum drive modifications too. The human spoke quickly and precisely, drawing diagrams on a holographic display. The harmonic resonance in your current system operates at fixed frequencies, Martinez explained. But if we introduce adaptive field modulators here and here, we can increase efficiency and reduce power consumption significantly. Studied the diagrams carefully. His caffeine-enhanced mind processed the information much faster than usual. To his amazement, the human was right. This adaptation technique, said slowly, our engineers theorized about this approach, but we could never make it work properly. The trick is in the quantum field stabilizers, Martinez replied. You need materials with specific metamorphic properties. We developed those about 15 years ago. You developed metamorphic quantum materials? His voice rose in disbelief. That requires manufacturing precision at the atomic level. Right, Martinez said casually. Want to see the fabrication process? The human led them to a section of the engineering bay where machines hummed quietly. Watched in amazement as the devices literally built materials one atom at a time, creating complex crystalline structures that changed their properties based on external conditions. This is impossible, En whispered. This technology is centuries ahead of what your databases indicated. Doctor overheard them. Our databases, where did you get information about us? Captain Ara hesitated, then decided honesty was best. We have observers throughout the galaxy, standard procedure for the Galactic Council. All species are monitored to track their development. Ah nodded. That explains the outdated information. We've been aware of galactic observation for quite some time. We made sure your watchers only saw what we wanted them to see. The coffee cup in En's hand suddenly felt very heavy. You knew about galactic civilization. You knew you were being watched. Of course, Admiral said, joining their conversation. We detected the observation posts about 60 years ago. We could have shut them down, but we found them useful for controlling the information flow. Ara felt the ground shifting beneath her feet. You deliberately fed false information to galactic observers. Not false, corrected. Just incomplete. We showed you our early space programs and basic orbital activities. We kept our more advanced projects hidden. It seemed safer that way. Safer, Ara asked. Well, said thoughtfully, we studied galactic history through your observation networks. We learned about the hegemony wars, the spiral conflicts, how advanced species typically treat developing ones. We decided it was better to appear primitive until we could defend ourselves properly. Was still staring at the atomic fabricators. How long have you had this technology? Which part? Martinez asked. The quantum drives, about 30 years, atomic-level manufacturing, 25 years, metamorphic materials, 15 years. But your public space program, En protested. You only achieved orbital flight recently. That's our civilian program, explained. We maintain a clear separation between public development and strategic capabilities. Most humans don't know about our advanced technology. Dr. Foster offered more coffee, which the aliens accepted gratefully. The caffeine was helping them process these shocking revelations. Admiral, Ara said carefully, exactly how advanced are your strategic capabilities? Considered the question for a moment. Would you like to see some of our facilities? An hour later, they stood in the observation deck of Luna Base 7, the human facility on Earth's moon. En pressed her face against the transparent aluminum window and stared at the site below. Massive construction bays stretched across the lunar surface, each one large enough to hold ships the size of the distant shore. But these bays were building vessels that dwarfed anything in the fleet. Those ships, Ara whispered, they are enormous. Dreadnought class, explained. We call them the Guardian series. Each one is designed to protect an entire star system. How many do you have? Asked. This facility produces about 12 per year. We have 17 similar facilities throughout the solar system. N did the mathematics quickly in her caffeine-enhanced mind. You are building over 200 massive warships per year. More or less, confirmed, though we prefer to think of them as peacekeeping vessels. Peacekeeping? Ara laughed, but there was no humor in it. Those are weapons of conquest. Actually, no, said seriously. They are weapons of protection. We've been watching galactic politics for decades. We know how the strong typically treat the weak. We decided long ago that we would not be weak when we revealed ourselves. Martinez had been working on final adjustments to their quantum drive. Captain Ara, your ship is ready. The new systems are installed and calibrated. You should find the performance improvement quite remarkable. Ara looked at her engineer. What do you think? Captain, they have modified our quantum drives with technology I barely understand. Our ship is now more advanced than anything in our fleet. Why? Ara asked directly. Why help us? Why improve our ship? Because that's what neighbors should do, replied simply. Help each other. We're all sharing the same galaxy. N finished her latest cup of coffee and studied the massive human ships under construction. Admiral, what are your intentions for galactic civilization? Smiled, we want to make some friends, trade knowledge and resources, maybe help solve some problems. What kind of problems? Ara asked. Well, said thoughtfully, these hegemony wars we've been reading about seem quite destructive. Perhaps it's time someone introduced a different approach to galactic politics. As they prepared to leave Luna Base and return to Earth, N realized that everything they thought they knew about humans was wrong. The primitive species drinking their mild stimulant had been quietly preparing to change the galaxy. And judging by what she had seen, they were ready to do exactly that. Captain Ara stood on the observation deck of Luna Base 7 and watched her entire understanding of the galaxy crumble. Below them, the human construction facility revealed its true scale as massive doors opened across the lunar surface. What had seemed like empty craters were actually hidden shipyards. Admiral, she said quietly, how many facilities like this do you have? In the Sol system, 47 major construction sites. Throughout nearby star systems, about 200. Nearly dropped his coffee cup. Throughout nearby star systems, you have faster-than-light travel. For about 20 years, replied casually. We found it necessary for strategic positioning. As they watched, ships began emerging from the hidden bays. Not small vessels like the fighters that had escorted them, but massive dreadnoughts that dwarfed the largest vessels in the fleet. Each ship was over a kilometer long with weapon systems that seemed to bend space around them. Those energy signatures, N whispered, her coffee-enhanced mind processing the sensor data rapidly. Those weapons are channeling stellar energy directly. Solar collection arrays, Chief Engineer Martinez explained, joining them on the observation deck. Each ship can tap into star energy from anywhere in a system, quite efficient for long-range operations. Ara counted the ships as they emerged. 20, 50, 100, the numbers kept growing. How many ships are you deploying? She asked. This is just the local defense fleet, Admiral explained. About 1,500 vessels. We have larger fleets positioned throughout the galactic spiral. Larger fleets, Ara's voice cracked slightly. Doctor looked up from his data pad. The Outer Rim fleet has about 5,000 ships. The Core Systems fleet has 8,000. The Deep Space fleet is smaller, only about 3,000, but those ships are designed for long-range strategic operations. N was doing rapid calculations. You have over 15,000 warships. More or less, confirmed, though again we prefer to call them peacekeeping vessels. Chief Engineer was studying the ships through the observation window. Captain, those shield systems, they appear to exist partially outside normal space-time. Dimensional phase shielding, Martinez explained proudly. Incoming attacks pass through shifted dimensional space, very effective against conventional weapons. What about unconventional weapons? Ara asked. We tested them against quantum disruptors, dark matter cannons, and temporal displacement weapons, Martinez replied. Full protection against all known weapon types. You tested them against temporal weapons? N asked in amazement. Most species consider those too dangerous to even research. Most species don't have our safety protocols, Dr. Foster said, offering more coffee to the increasingly shocked aliens. We tested everything in contained dimensional pockets, no risk to normal space-time. Admiral gestured toward the expanding fleet below them. Captain Ara, we want you to understand something important. Humanity has been preparing for galactic contact for decades. We studied every conflict, every war, every political situation we could observe. Why, Ara asked. Because we learned that the galaxy operates on the principle of strength. The strong dominate the weak. Advanced species exploit developing ones. Peace exists only when everyone fears the consequences of war. Activated a holographic display showing the galactic spiral. Red zones marked areas of conflict, while blue zones showed peaceful regions. Look at the pattern, she said. Peace exists only where powerful species enforce it. Everywhere else there is war, exploitation, and suffering. The display zoomed in on specific sectors. The hegemony controls 37 systems through fear and superior firepower. The Spiral Alliance maintains order in their territory with overwhelming military presence. Even the peaceful Confederation exists because other species know attacking you would be costly. Ara studied the tactical display. Her caffeine-enhanced mind saw the truth immediately. You studied our defensive capabilities, too. Of course, confirmed. We know the exact specifications of every ship in your fleet. We know your battle tactics, your weapon systems, your strategic weaknesses. Are you threatening us? Ara asked, her hands moving closer to her weapons. Absolutely not, said firmly. We're offering you alliance, but we wanted you to understand that it would be genuine alliance between equals, not the usual relationship between advanced and developing species. Was still watching the fleet deployment. Captain, their ships are moving into formations around the entire solar system. This is a defensive perimeter that could protect against any known fleet configuration. Not just any known fleet, Martinez corrected. We analyzed every major battle in recorded galactic history. These formations can counter any tactical approach ever used successfully. Doctor pulled up another display. We also studied galactic politics extensively. We know which species can be trusted, which ones are aggressive, and which ones are simply trying to survive. And which category do they fall into? En asked. Trustworthy survivors, replied immediately. Your people avoid conflict when possible but fight effectively when necessary. You treat other species fairly and honor your agreements. That's exactly the kind of ally we want. The observation deck shook slightly as massive ships continued launching from hidden bays throughout the lunar facility. Admiral, Ara said slowly, what exactly are your intentions for galactic civilization? Was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice carried the weight of careful planning. The galaxy is broken, Captain. Endless wars, exploitation of weaker species, cycles of revenge and suffering. Someone needs to provide an alternative. Alternative. Peace through strength, not the peace of fear that exists now, but genuine peace. Protection for developing species. Fair trade between systems. Punishment for those who prey on the weak. En set down her empty coffee cup. You want to become the galactic police force. We want to become the galactic peacekeeping force, corrected. There's a difference. Police enforce laws. Peacekeepers protect those who cannot protect themselves. Turned away from watching the fleet deployment. The other major powers will not accept this. The hegemony, the Spiral Alliance, the Core Dominion, they will see you as a threat to their authority. They're welcome to try stopping us, Martinez said with quiet confidence. We've run detailed simulations of conflict with every major galactic power, individually or combined. And Aura asked. We would prefer not to fight, said diplomatically. But if they insist on maintaining the current system of exploitation and endless war, we are prepared to convince them otherwise. The holographic display shifted to show human fleets positioned throughout known space. Ara realized with growing amazement that humanity had been secretly deploying forces for years. How long have you been planning this? She asked. Since we first detected the galactic observation post 60 years ago, replied. We spent the first 20 years just watching and learning, the next 20 years developing technology, the last 20 years positioning assets and building alliances. Building alliances, En asked, with whom? Doctor smiled. You'd be surprised how many species are tired of the current galactic order. Quite a few have been quietly helping us prepare. Captain Ara looked around at the humans surrounding her. All of them seemed calm and confident, as if changing the fundamental nature of galactic civilization was just another engineering problem to solve. "When do you plan to reveal yourselves officially?" she asked. Admiral checked her chronometer. "About 6 hours ago, actually. We've been sending diplomatic messages to every major government simultaneously." "What do the messages say?" Smiled, "Hello, neighbors, time for some changes." Ambassador stood in the main conference room of Terra Station as Captain Ara and her crew prepared for departure. The ship Distant Shore sat in the repair bay, no longer the damaged vessel that had limped into the Sol system 3 days ago. Enhanced with human technology, it was now faster and more powerful than any ship in the fleet. Captain Ara said, offering a final cup of coffee to the alien leader, "We hope this has been a productive visit." Ara accepted the coffee gratefully. Her entire crew had become dependent on the remarkable human beverage. "Ambassador, productive is an understatement. You have changed everything we thought we knew about the galaxy." "That was the intention," replied with a smile. "Change is difficult but sometimes necessary." Science Officer N was reviewing the technical specifications that human engineers had shared with them. "These quantum field modifications will increase our ship's efficiency by 60%. Our engineers will want to study this technology immediately." "Please do," Chief Engineer Martinez said. "We've included complete technical documentation and manufacturing specifications. Share them with your people freely." Looked confused. "You are giving us advanced technology without restrictions. Most species guard their innovations carefully." "Most species see technology as a weapon," Doctor explained. "We see it as a tool for building better relationships." Ambassador activated a holographic display showing the current state of galactic communications. "Captain, are you aware of what has been happening while you were here?" The display showed message traffic flowing between major galactic powers, emergency sessions at the Galactic Council, fleet movements throughout known space. "The response to our diplomatic messages has been quite energetic," continued. "The hegemony has declared us a threat to galactic stability. The Spiral Alliance is demanding immediate withdrawal of our forces from their territory. The Core Dominion is mobilizing their entire fleet." "And how do you plan to respond?" Aura asked. "We already have," Admiral said, entering the conference room. 12 hours ago, we prevented 3 separate conflicts that would have cost millions of lives." She activated another display showing recent events. "The hegemony was preparing to attack the colonies for refusing tribute payments. We positioned a small fleet between them. No shots were fired, but the attack was cancelled. The pirates were planning to raid the trade routes," continued. "We intercepted their fleet and offered them employment in our merchant protection services. Most of them accepted. And the Spiral Alliance was threatening to blockade the neutral zone unless 3 developing species agreed to exclusive trade agreements. We guaranteed protection for those species and suggested the Alliance might want to offer better terms instead." N studied the tactical reports with fascination. "You resolved 3 major conflicts without firing a shot." "Violence is expensive and wasteful," explained. "We find that offering better alternatives works much more effectively." Captain Ara set down her coffee cup and looked directly at the human ambassador. "What do you want from the Confederation?" "Partnership," replied immediately. "Your people have a reputation for fairness and honor throughout the galaxy. Those are exactly the qualities we need in allies." "Partnership in what?" "Building a better galaxy. One where developing species are protected instead of exploited, where conflicts are resolved through negotiation instead of war, where technology is shared to benefit everyone." Dr. Foster stepped forward with a sealed container. "Captain, this contains enough coffee beans to last your crew several months, along with complete instructions for growing more." Aura accepted the container reverently. "You are giving us your enhancement stimulant." "Coffee grows well on most inhabited worlds," Foster explained. "We've already sent seeds and growing instructions to 47 developing species. Consider it a friendship gift." Was reviewing the technical upgrades on their ship. "Captain, with these modifications, we can travel faster than any ship in our fleet. We could reach the home system in half the normal time." Excellent, Admiral said, because we need you to deliver an important message to your government. She handed Ara a sealed diplomatic pouch. This contains a formal alliance proposal from Earth to the Confederation. We're offering mutual defense agreements, technology sharing, and joint development projects. And if our government refuses, Ara asked. Then we remain friends anyway, replied. We won't force anyone to join us, but we will protect anyone who needs protection. The conversation was interrupted by an alert from the communications station. Lieutenant called out from his position. Admiral, incoming priority message from the Galactic Council. They're requesting immediate dialogue. Put them through, ordered. The holographic display showed High Counselor, a elderly with silver scales and multiple eyes. His expression was carefully neutral. Admiral, I am High Counselor of the Galactic Council. We need to discuss the recent changes in galactic political dynamics. Good morning, High Counselor, replied politely. We would be happy to discuss improved cooperation between civilized species. Admiral, your actions have disrupted the established order of galactic civilization. There are concerns about your intentions. Our intentions are quite simple, said. We want to help create a galaxy where all species can develop peacefully without fear of exploitation or conquest. And you believe this requires massive military intervention. We believe this requires the credible ability to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Military force is only one tool among many. High Counselor was quiet for several moments. The Council wishes to invite Earth to send a representative for formal discussions. We accept, replied immediately. Ambassador will arrive at the Council chambers within the week. We look forward to productive dialogue, the High Counselor said before ending the transmission. Captain Ara looked around the room at the humans, who had completely changed her understanding of galactic politics in just 3 days. You planned this entire sequence of events, she realized. Our arrival, the repairs, the demonstrations of your capabilities, all of it was designed to send a message through us to the galaxy. Not entirely planned, admitted. We knew someone would eventually need emergency assistance, but we didn't know when or who. However, we were prepared to make the most of the opportunity when it arose. And now, Aura asked. Now the galaxy knows that there's a new option, explained. Species don't have to choose between being predators or prey. They can choose to be protectors. As the crew prepared to board their enhanced ship, Doctor handed a data pad. This contains our complete historical database on galactic conflicts and our analysis of peaceful resolution techniques. We thought your scientists might find it interesting. Thank you, N said, clutching the device carefully. This information is invaluable. Ambassador walked with Captain Ara toward the departure bay. Captain, we want you to know that whatever your government decides about our alliance proposal, Earth will always consider the friends. And Earth will always be welcome in space, Ara replied formally. Then she smiled. Especially if you bring more coffee. As the distant shore prepared for departure, now escorted by a small human fleet, Captain Ara composed her report to the High Council. How could she explain that the primitive species of Sol 3 had just changed the fundamental nature of galactic civilization in less than a week? The answer, she realized, was simple. Humanity had done what no other species had attempted. They had combined overwhelming strength with genuine kindness. They had the power to conquer but chose instead to protect. They had technology to dominate but decided to share. Most importantly, they had introduced the revolutionary concept that the strong should serve the weak rather than exploit them. As they jumped to hyperspace, carrying news of humanity's emergence to the Confederation, Captain Ara sipped her